Alabama versus FSU. You have two teams that are coming off disappointing seasons for different reasons. Alabama's 2024 campaign was disappointing. For one, you have the expectations of making it to the playoffs every single year. Anything but that is a disappointment. Context, though, Kalen DeBoer wasn't his first season at Alabama. He won the most games ever for a first-year Alabama head coach. And he had some big shoes to fill, replacing Nick Saban so late during the offseason, which kind of forced him to have to try to win with a team that wasn't built for the style he likes to try to win with. Well, this is Kalen DeBoer's team now. Everybody that didn't want to be there is gone. Everybody that wanted to be there is still there. FSU, they're trying to avenge one of the biggest downfalls in the history of college football. There has never been a team that won their conference championship and then a year after finished last place in their conference. FSU, unfortunately, was the first to do that. And the same way they accomplished that, it's the same way that they're looking to rebuild and bounce back from last year's season from hell, because they built this team the same way they built last year's 2-10 team, but they changed their philosophy with how they went about doing so. They're not getting guys out of the portal that came from programs like Georgia and Alabama that have the potential but don't have the proven production. That's what got Florida State in trouble last year. On top of that, you have bad quarterback play. You get Tommy Castellanos, who's a good fit, and Gus Malzahn, your new offensive coordinators, run-heavy scheme. You have some proven good wide receivers on the outside, some proven starters on the offensive line, but is all of that going to come together and gel right away like how Florida State needs it to? Alabama returns a lot of experience from last year's team. They have a top 5 defense in college football and the offense that has one of the best receiving corps in the nation. Despite having concerns at quarterback, Ty Simpson, with what he has around him, there's a lot to be optimistic about, especially when you have a Florida State secondary lining up opposite of him that has to return a lot, or has to rebuild and retool a defensive backfield that lost several starters to the NFL last year. Alabama's passing attack is going to have a coming out party with Ty Simpson at quarterback, with everything that Florida State has to replace from their secondary last year. The last passing attack you want to see to open a season up against is Alabama's. 3 great receivers, a great offensive line, and a quarterback that has a higher floor, but just as high as the ceiling as what Jalen Milroe had last year. I do not expect for this game to be close for long. Alabama is a 2-possession favorite. I am hammering that. I'm taking the money line. I'm pretty confident that Florida State will be out of this game by the time we go into halftime. Alabama is just too talented. Florida State has too many revolving pieces that they need to click right away to win this game. If everything goes right for Florida State and they do win this game, it will be because they were able to run the football. The same issues Alabama had last year, playing down the competition. Their defense struggling against dual threat quarterbacks will be there, but I don't see that happening. Florida State, to run the football, you got to do it against one of the best run fronts in the nation. They have one of the best secondaries in college football. Florida State isn't deep nor talented enough at receiver to have to win this game getting into an air raid shootout with Alabama. I don't think that would go well for Tommy Castellanos. The offensive line won't hold up, and the receivers won't be able to get open against how stacked this Alabama secondary is. I like Alabama to win this game. 45-10 is my final score prediction. Alabama is about to stomp out Florida State in week 1 in Doak Campbell.